Hello, Assalamualaikum, Salam Sejahtera and Kia ora. My name is Rashida Magno. I've been invited to talk about the situation in Malaysia and New Zealand relating to COVID-19. First of all, I would like to thank Apna TV for inviting me here. It gives me the opportunity to update you about what's happening in my community. A little bit about me. As I said, my name is Rashida Magno. I'm a chartered accountant by profession, and I have been living in New Zealand for the last 36 years. Today, I'm representing the Malaysian community through the two community organizations that I am part of. Number one is New Zealand Malaysian Business Association, or NZMBA, and the other one is Auckland Malaysian Societies. They represent the Malaysian community in two different ways. NZMBA is focusing more on business. The mission is to expand business activities between New Zealand and Malaysia, and we're also encouraging business networks among the Malaysian community. Whereas Auckland Malaysian Society is focusing on social and encouraging good liaison with our Malaysian officials in New Zealand. COVID-19 is a pandemic that caught us by surprise globally. Malaysians in Malaysia and New Zealand is no different. It caught us by surprise. We were not fully prepared, but there is at our front door. So we just have to work quick to overcome the situation. In Malaysia, the first case was reported in January 2020. It was brought into Malaysia through Singapore by tourists from China. And the first case in Malaysia itself reported in February. Initially, there was only 22 cases, but by the end of February, it has risen to 1,000 cases. So the Malaysian government had to make a quick decision on what to do next to contain the epidemic at that stage. So they decided to go into movement control order in mid-March, 18th of March. So they had their movement control order 1 week before New Zealand. So that's not a pleasant situation, as you can imagine. A lot of things that we were used to do freely had to be cut down or curtailed. On the 16th of April, we had about 5,182 cases, 2,800 recovered, and 84 deaths. Malaysian government decided to extend MCO, movement control order, up to 28th of April. So in total, they would have 6 weeks of lockdown. When New Zealand decided to go into lockdown on the 25th of March, we were caught by surprise in New Zealand, and at that time we had over 100 Malaysians on tour in New Zealand. From level 3 to level 4, we were given only 48 hours to prepare. So a lot of people were caught not knowing what to do at that time. Many Malaysian tourists in New Zealand on holiday and visiting their children who had their graduation ceremony at that time, and their tickets were either delayed or cancelled without notice or very short notice. So what are they to do within that 48 hours? When Australia closed their borders, that caused another problem, because they were not able to find alternative way to go back to Malaysia. So like it or not, NZBA has to do something about this. Dave Anand, our president, with Pam Lewis, our secretary, decided to start a campaign called Reach Out. We contacted as many as possible Malaysians who are stranded in New Zealand, who's either trying to get tickets to go home or find accommodation or get medical advice. So we created a WhatsApp group called Stranded Malaysians in New Zealand. And we contacted everyone. We were lucky because we can work closely with our ambassador, Malaysian ambassador in New Zealand, Puan Nurul Izzah Wong Mechu. We had regular contact every day. She was in our WhatsApp group. She is still in our WhatsApp group. And we talk about things to do. We invited all the stranded Malaysians to join our WhatsApp group as well. So everybody is informed on real time. Thank goodness for us having this social media at this time. Otherwise, this would have not been possible. And there were many of fake news. We didn't know it was fake news, but it get filtered down to us by our ambassador, who checked the situation with Malaysia with a source and then bring back to us and said, no, that's not true, this is the case. Blessing in disguise, we also have our secretary, Pam Lewis, in Malaysia. She was stranded there. She wanted to come back to New Zealand, but she had to stay. There's no flight coming back to New Zealand. So through her, we were able to get updated news from Malaysia Airlines about what flights operating to New Zealand to take these people home, and what has been cancelled. So yeah, in that sense, we were lucky. We cover both sides, Malaysia and New Zealand. The 48 hours before lockdown, I get stressed out just thinking about that. We were trying to find accommodations for our stranded travelers. Some were told to leave the hotel or motel where they were in. We don't know why. So we have to find a different alternative for them. We had a case where there's a family of 6 flying from Christchurch. This family has 4 children under 10 years old. It's pretty hard to find quick accommodation to accommodate these people. Fortunately for us, we have a Malaysian who owns a rental property which was empty at that time. So we got in touch with her, immediately tidy up the house a little bit, make it presentable, and we put this family into that house. And then there's another couple, 2 more people come in and join them. So in total there were 8 people in a 3-bedroom house, but they make do. And before the lockdown, we have a Singaporean friend who brought supplies, brought little fridge that they can use. You know, that house is empty, there's nothing in it. And somebody else brought toilet papers, cleaning stuff, rice, things that you need to survive. And we have a Malaysian who drove all the way from Browns Bay. She brought her car so that this group can use it while in lockdown. So everybody works together to help. Smaller groups, we were able to find accommodation for them. Some of them were able to do it themselves. So don't want to think about the stress at that time. It wasn't nice, but I'm glad that part is done. Recently, around about 6th of April, a lot of these stranded travelers gone back to Malaysia with our national carrier, Malaysia Airlines. When they get to Malaysia, they were tested, they were screened by the police personnel and medical personnel who were at the airport at that time. Their bags were sanitized, and then they were put in a big buses and complete with the riders. They were taken to hotels to do their isolation 14 days isolations. They were put in 4 or 5 star hotels around Kuala Lumpur. So they were fortunate, and also the fortunate thing, so far none of them were reported to have the infection. So everybody was tested at the airport, and then they were tested again when they arrived at the hotel, and later on, before they were released back to the community, go back to their own home, they would be tested again. So they would go through 2 or 3 times of testing before they go home. And in the meantime, while they were staying in the hotels, they got nothing else to do. So we in Auckland, in New Zealand, we try to keep them entertained. We have a WhatsApp group for the people who's quarantined in Malaysia. We chat, we play games. They show us what they're having for lunch, dinner every day. So, that's just to fill in their time. It works. It helps to improve their morale. And we have a lady in our group, New Zealand Malaysian Business Association group. She's normally an event organizer in the real world with people, face to face. But now it's another challenge for her, trying to organize entertainment for people on the other side of the world, virtual games with virtual prizes. It works. She's fantastic. So that's something she can put in her CV. Now, that part, we're happy on how it's progressing. So now, in New Zealand, I'll just want to bring your attention to Malaysian community in New Zealand. Malaysia is a country that's made up of different races, different ethnicity, different religions. 60% of Malaysians are Muslim, 20% are Buddhists, and 10% are Christians, Hindus about 7%, and the rest. And 50% ethnicity are Malays, and then we have Chinese, and then 20%, and then Indian 7%, and the rest are others. So we have a lot of religious and cultural activities that we brought to New Zealand as part of our heritage. And you can just imagine there's so many things for us to celebrate. One group celebrating this, and before that, not even finished, we have another group celebrating something else. So there's always something going on in the community. Unfortunately, with COVID-19, activities that we can do has been chopped off, reduced. Recently, we had the Tamil New Year, Pothandu, if I'm not mistaken. Normally, they have their puja at home. It's a private celebration, but still, you have friends, families visiting each other. Unfortunately, that is not the case. So you just within your bubble celebrating your New Year. And we also had Easter recently. So the trend now is to do it online. Within their bubble, they would still have the Easter egg hunt as usual, but there's no commercial side to it anymore. Some people like it because they feel that spiritually enlightening. It's a time for them to really appreciate Easter for what it is, what's supposed to be. So it's just a different way of doing things. For us Muslim, I'm a Muslim myself, next week is the beginning of our Ramadan. Usually we have get together every day to go and do our prayers. Among my Malaysian community, we have another group. This is for Malaysian Muslim from Singapore and Malaysia. Why Singapore? Because they are our closest neighbor, and also we have a lot in common culturally. It's just a natural bond between the Malaysian Muslim and Singaporean. over here we meet once a week in a hall that we hire for 4 weeks during Ramadan, and we would have groups for each week that cook the main dish, rice, curry, stuff like that. And then those who are not in the main group preparing food that week, we bring our own potluck. So it's a family event. What we do there, we breakfast together, we eat together, and then we socialize, catching up with friends. And then we have our salat, our prayer, special prayer that we do in Ramadan called Tarawih. And then after that we have reading Quran, or and then listening to religious speech by our imam. That will not happen this week. We have cancelled it. It will be a very different Ramadan for us this year, and we don't even know whether our Eid at that time will be out of lockdown, whether we will be able to go out and celebrate in the manner that we normally do. So we yet to see what will happen, but we're not complaining. We know why this has to be done. It's just that we have to change our mindset. There's so many ways that we can celebrate our Ramadan and our Eid. And this year maybe it's a way for us to focus on our own family, our own bubble, and do things together. So it's not that bad. Life is more sacred. It's more important. So we have to do everything that we could to save lives. I really would like to thank Apna TV for this opportunity. I feel that this is a great platform for us, the Malaysian community, to come out and show everybody else that we are part of this big community in New Zealand. Show the wider community about what's happening around our own community. I've been told that Apna TV is welcoming 3-minute videos from families or individual to talk about anything really, something funny, something that's relevant to them, something that we all can share, feel happy, filling time during this trying period. So perhaps you want to do that, record a 3-minute video and send it to Apna TV, and they can put it in their Facebook so we all can share. It's something different for our community to try. We can show how we celebrate our, how we practice our Ramadan, or how we celebrate our Eid this year. In Malay we call it Hari Raya, but over here it's Eid. So that's something we can do. Dress up nicely in our own costume and take a video, family video, and let's show to the community in New Zealand what we are all about. This video messages that you made, you could WhatsApp to 027 828 1330 or email to tv36@apnatv.co.nz. Apna is spelled APNA TV, one word. I'm going to speak Malay at this moment because I want to reach out to my own community. Jom kita buat video macam mana kita raya, macam mana kita baju cantik apa semua ni, buat family by family. So bila you all hantar ke Apna TV, kita boleh kata, oh ini keluarga Suzana, ini keluarga Karya, ini keluarga Sadia, or something. Or what if kita buat ucapan selamat hari raya? Bolehlah kita letak dekat Apna TV. Dia orang ada Facebook. Dalam Facebook tu, you know lah, anybody can access it. So ucapan selamat hari raya dari New Zealand pada siapa-siapa anywhere in the world. So why not? Let's do that. Something I rasa creative lah this year. So yeah, kita cuba ya. I am starting to see a lot of people putting up food that they cook on Facebook. That's another thing that is the creation of COVID-19. A lot of people is improving on their culinary ability. I feel so left out because I don't cook as much as these people, and so they try all sorts of recipes that they can find on Google, and you can see so and so doing this, so and so doing that, baking and this and the other, and complaining, oh, I can't get yeast, I can't get flour from wherever. So this is the positive side of COVID-19, because people have chance to do something about their hobby, something that they're passionate about. So it's not all bad, I would say. We spend time with the family. We try on new hobbies. In my case, I like gardening, so I spend more time talking to my plant, encouraging them to grow in winter. But yeah, that's what happened. And yeah, at the end of the movement control, I guess some people will be putting on 1 or 2 kgs, maybe. Not bad. So then there will be the mad rush of Ramadan, when hopefully we'll lose our weight that we accumulated in the past 4 weeks. So yeah, that's a positive way of looking at it. Now, about the reach out program that was set up, it has caught on to Australia. They heard about us. So they have started their own reach out program, and they have started to work with their own embassy in Australia. And I was told that it's also duplicated in other countries around the world, just to help the stranded Malaysians. So, it's amazing how this reach out coming out from little New Zealand has becoming something big, and it's helping out stranded Malaysians in a positive way. Now, another thing that's happening in the Malaysian community, it tends to bring out the good in people. We all want to help each other. There is a number that you can call, which unfortunately I can't remember at the moment, but you can go to NZMBA Facebook. They are on Facebook, called NZMBA. There they can give you legal advice, especially people in business who having problem with their rent at the moment, commercial or personal. And then you can get medical advice. We have in-house doctors, but they can only give you medical advice. You still have to seek professional help. And we can give you accounting advice that's coming from people like me. And there are a lot of help given out to Malaysian community. But I can't say that we just going to restrict it to Malaysian community. I think anybody who needs help will be more than happy to help. So go to NZMBA on Facebook. You will see everything that all help that you can get from us. There's another association. It's called My Fund Actions. They are collecting donation so that they can buy food supplies. They call it Box of Happiness, and in there will be the usual supplies: pasta, rice, canned food, bread. In fact, they have also given some sanitizers and face masks to people who need help. But you can go to their Facebook called My Fund Action New Zealand, and you can get all sorts of information from there. Also, if anyone needs help with picking up food from the supermarket or buying food for them, please let us know. There are a lot of people around you that can help you. Just let us know. We have recently been told about some Malaysian students who decided it would be better off for them to stay in New Zealand rather than going back to Malaysia. So those students, if they need help, please don't be afraid to reach out. Here we are, your uncles and aunties, your brothers and sisters. We're here to help you too. No one is being left behind. All you have to do is ask. We'll be there. Don't be sad. Don't think that you are alone in this situation. There's always somebody to talk to. You can chat to some of us. We have WhatsApp chat group for people who's interested in gardening, people who's interested in cooking, people who are still stranded in New Zealand, people who's already gone home. So there are so many avenues to release stress, to release tension. Let us know if we can help you in any other way. And this is why people like Apna TV has been playing a big role to help us, community like the Malaysian, to bring out this message, to tell you, hey, we are here to help you. And thank you again, Apna TV, for this opportunity. I can't stress enough what a big role they have played in this. Thank you, and thank you, Apna TV, for this segment. I will end here, and hopefully we'll see you later again soon.